What's up, everyone? Today, I've got some wild casting rumors, official confirmations, and even some heartfelt updates about the upcoming Harry Potter HBO Max series. You won't believe who might play Ginny or Draco. And yeah, we've got to talk about J.K. Rowling's reaction to new trio and Nick Frost's new beard. Hit that like button and let's break it all down. Is that our new Ginny Weasley? Let's talk about Ginny Weasley. So far, HBO's been super tight-lipped about the casting for Ginny, but fans have gone full detective mode. And the name that keeps popping up? Chloe Ward. Now, this hasn't been officially confirmed by HBO, but let me walk you through the clues because honestly, it's kind of convincing. So, first, Chloe Ward, young actress, got her start in stage musicals like Matilda and Annie. Basically, she's got pipes and stage presence, which already puts her in the Hermione level of precocious British theater kids. But more than that, she posted not one, but two very pointed Instagram stories that fans think are direct winks at her casting in the Harry Potter TV series. One story just said, "Confirmed." The second one said, "Some super exciting news for Chloe. Can't wait to share. So lucky but so much deserved." And yeah, that had a castle emoji. Could be Cinderella's castle, sure, but let's be honest. The girl has red hair and a theater resume. There's only one castle people are thinking about here. Hogwarts. And it didn't take long for Reddit to pick this up. Over on r/Harry Potter on HBO, one thread went off with people trying to match her look to the actor playing Ron. That's Alistair Stout. And guess what? They actually do look like they could be siblings. "She'd make a perfect Ginny," one user wrote. "As long as they can make her hair a little redder, I think looks-wise she's perfect. She looks like the kid who plays Ron, and at least she's a redhead. She just needs to be more vibrant," said another. Now let's be real. Ginny in the original movies? Super underwritten. The books gave her way more personality, way more agency, and frankly, a way stronger presence. So whoever plays her in this series is gonna have a shot at making Ginny the fully fleshed out, take-no-nonsense character we were promised. And Chloe Ward? If she is our girl, she's got the training, the vibe, and that stage kid confidence to totally step into that role. Especially since this show's going book accurate, which means we'll finally get things like her bat bogey hex moments and her full Quidditch journey. Bottom line, if the rumors are true, Chloe's about to go from musicals to magic. And I am 100% here for it. And what about Draco? Let's switch gears and dive into one of the biggest potential castings on the darker side of the Hogwarts hallway. DracoMalfoy. So, while we wait for HBO to officially announce who's slipping into those perfectly pressed Slytherin robes, there's one name that keeps showing up in the rumor mill. Dexter Saul Ansel. First of all, that name. Let's just admit it. Dexter Saul Ansel already sounds like a villain from some Victorian-era drama. And you know what? That totally works for Draco. I'm not saying your name makes you a Malfoy, but like, come on, it fits. Dexter isn't just a rando being tossed into a legacy franchise. This kid has receipts, like real ones. He's already played young Coriolanus Snow in The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. He's also landed the lead role in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the upcoming Game of Thrones prequel. He's going to be playing Aegon Egg Targaryen, which, again, is a massive role that'll put him front and center in another huge fantasy world. And here's where it gets extra interesting. He's been liking comments on social media about playing DracoMalfoy, and not just randomly. We're talking about selective engagement, the kind of behavior publicists usually scream at actors not to do unless something's in the works. He's also now following the official Harry Potter Instagram account and Warner Bros. Studios Leavesden, where the new series is set to be filmed. Coincidence? Maybe. But it smells a lot like he's already poking around the dungeons. What fans are saying online is also super telling. One Redditor said, "He'd make a good Draco. Excellent casting if this is true. Sign him up with that name. He is destined for greatness." Another added, "He's got the acting chops and the sneer. Bring it on." Oh, and one more spicy detail. Tom Felton, OG Draco himself, is apparently involved with the series behind the scenes. No one knows in what capacity yet, but fans are already begging for a coach-mentor situation where Tom helps shape Dexter's Malfoy. That would be some next-level legacy casting. The past Draco literally grooming the next generation. So if Dexter is indeed the new Malfoy, expect a much more complex, layered version of Draco than we got in the films. And with his acting experience and those icy features, yeah, he's bringing something real to the Slytherin table. Jessica Hines as Molly? All right, let's talk about a character that might not be flashy like Harry or controversial like Draco, but without her, there is no heart in the wizarding world. Molly Weasley. And rumor alert, the internet is buzzing that Jessica Hines could be stepping into the role of the ultimate magical mom. Now, if the name Jessica Hines doesn't ring a bell, go watch Shaun of the Dead. She played Yvonne, the parallel universe version of Shaun with her own squad. She's also been in Nativity 2, The Royal Family, and most recently, Death of a Unicorn. She's funny, grounded, and British as hell. So basically, she's halfway to the burrow already. Here's the thing, replacing Julie Walters is no small feat. Walters wasn't just a fan favorite, she defined the role. The knitted sweaters, the iconic line, "You know the one." Not my daughter. That's burned into cinema history. But hear me out. Jessica Hines might actually be a perfect fit, especially if the HBO series wants to lean more into the book-accurate Molly. Because Book Molly? She wasn't just soft and maternal. She was also fierce, a lioness, a woman who ran a chaotic home with 7 kids, cooked meals with a flick of her wand, threw down with Death Eaters when she had to, and never let anyone forget who was in charge. And Hines has that energy. She's got comedic timing, yes, which is key when you've got to mother a pack of red-headed chaos agents. But she's also shown serious dramatic chops over the years. She can bring the warmth and the fire. Plus, fans are already reacting positively to the idea. A top comment on Reddit said, "Jessica Hines would absolutely nail the mix of cozy and terrifying. That's what Molly needs." And it makes sense HBO would want someone familiar with long-form storytelling, someone with theater and TV experience, and someone who can ground the more emotional scenes. Molly isn't just comic relief. She's the soul of the Weasley household. And if the series is going to spend more time showing us life at the Burrow, we need someone who can own that space. Nothing's confirmed yet, but Jessica Hines as Molly Weasley? I'm 100% sold. Reactions to the new trio reveal. Okay, now let's talk about the elephant in the Great Hall, the trio. The new Harry, Ron, and Hermione have officially been cast, and the internet's had some, let's say, opinions. Here's who we've got. Dominic McLaughlin as Harry Potter, Arabella Stanton as Hermione Granger, Alistair Stout as Ron Weasley. Everyone's going to have a take. Everyone's going to be watching their every move, and you just know comparisons to Radcliffe, Watson, and Grint are going to flood every comment section for the next decade. But behind all the hype, there's a real human side to this. Emma Watson's own father, Chris Watson, recently gave a very sobering and honestly kind of emotional warning to the parents of these new stars. He told Times Radio, "As a parent, you have to be scared. This can be a very difficult thing for a parent and child to handle, or not." And he's right. This franchise changes lives, sometimes for better, sometimes not so much. Chris explained that his own lack of interest in movies helped keep Emma grounded. "It's certainly helped that I don't actually watch movies. It's not a big thing in the house, and so it was easier for us to keep her feet on the ground. Still, even with the most grounded family on Earth, fame is hard. Look at Daniel Radcliffe. By his own account, the spotlight messed with him. He turned to alcohol toward the end of his Harry Potter years and has since been sober for over a decade. And Emma Watson once admitted that at 19, she still didn't really understand if being famous was what she wanted. This all happened to me so young. It's very hard to go back to that time and be like, did I want to do this? It feels very foggy. That's deep. and kinda heartbreaking. On the bright side, the new trio is coming in with some serious chops. Dominic McLaughlin, our new Harry, has already done Shakespeare, Macbeth no less. Arabella Stanton, she's a West End star. She played Matilda in Matilda, which, if you've seen that musical, you know that's not just about singing and dancing. It's about commanding a stage. She also starred in Starlight Express as Control. Alistair Stout, our new Ron, is maybe the least known of the three, but early comments are saying he looks almost freakishly like a young Rupert Grint, which honestly might have helped him land the role. Even J.K. Rowling, who hasn't been universally embraced by fans lately, gave her full public thumbs up. All three are wonderful. I couldn't be happier. Whether you agree with Rowling or not, she's still an executive producer on this series, so this trio definitely has her blessing, and that counts for a lot. At the end of the day, these three kids are walking into a hurricane, but they're also stepping into history. Let's hope the world gives them the space and support to grow into these roles, and into themselves. Nick Frost's take on Hagrid. All right, let's shift gears and talk about what might be the most unexpected casting in this whole reboot. Nick Frost as Rubeus Hagrid. Yep, the guy from Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End is suiting up as Hogwarts' biggest, most lovable gamekeeper. And I know some of y'all were skeptical at first, but listen to what the man himself had to say. In a Collider interview, Nick Frost made it very clear that he's not trying to copy Robbie Coltrane's iconic performance. Instead, he wants to honor the spirit of the character while adding his own nuance. His exact words? You get cast because you're going to bring something to that. While I'm really aware of what went before me in terms of Robbie's amazing performance, I'm never going to try and be Robbie. He continued, I think you have to be respectful to the subject matter, but within that, there's scope for minutia. I always read Hagrid as he's like a lovely, lost, violent, funny, warm child. That's actually beautiful. That last line hits hard. A lovely, lost, violent, funny, warm child. That's Hagrid in a nutshell. And with HBO doing one book per season, so around 10 full episodes per year, Frost is psyched to explore more of Hagrid's depth. The beauty of being able to do a book a season means I get to explore that a lot more, and I can't wait. He's funny. I want it to be funny and cheeky and scared and protective and childlike. That's what I'm planning on doing. Also, fun fact, the production for this series is no joke. Frost said it'll be 10 to 11 months of filming per season. That's Game of Thrones level commitment. You don't shoot that long unless you're building something massive. And this man is into it. In his words, I've gone in to do head sculpts and have your handstand and stuff, and they say, oh, have a look at this. And you're like, wow, that's the coolest thing. He even got a peek at a dancing mushroom. I love films. I've loved cinema my whole life. So to be part of that universe now and that they're showing me like a dancing mushroom, it's like, that is so cool. But wait, it gets even more heartwarming. In another interview with Screen Rant, Frost talked about how he relates to Hagrid not just as an actor, but as a dad. Look, I'm a dad myself, so I am going to be very protective to the children. He's very protective of them, and I honestly can't wait. If the show really leans into this angle, Hagrid is more of a father figure than the films ever gave him credit for, we might be in for some really emotional storytelling. And honestly, Frost's warmth and real-world dad energy might be exactly what the character needs. So yeah, he's not just wearing the beard, he's becoming Hagrid, and I'm 100% here for it. Miriam Margolyes' goodbye. Let's end this chapter on a heavy but important note. Miriam Margolyes, the legendary actress who played Professor Pomona Sprout, gave us a heartbreaking update recently. In a new interview, she said this, I only have 5 or 6 years left to live. That line hit fans hard. No sugarcoating, no euphemisms, just that trademark Miriam bluntness. She's 84 now, and while she didn't go into details about her health, the implication was clear. Time is short. But in typical Miriam fashion, she wasn't being morbid, just honest. And kind of serene about it. She said, "The numbers speak for themselves." She's always had that no-nonsense charm, but hearing her acknowledge the end of her journey so candidly really shook fans. Not just because we love Sprout, but because Miriam is one of the last remaining cast members from the original films who's still so openly connected to the fandom. And this announcement comes on the heels of a string of losses. We've already said goodbye to Alan Rickman, Robbie Coltrane, and Michael Gambon. Even Maggie Smith, our beloved Professor McGonagall, all gone in the last few years. These are more than just actors. They're the emotional backbone of our childhoods. Every one of them shaped what made the films work. And to see them go one by one, it's a gut punch every time. What makes Miriam's story so impactful is how unapologetically human she is. Even as a professor surrounded by mandrakes and magical fertilizer, she gave Sprout this earthy, grandmotherly joy. She wasn't one of the flashy characters. She was warmth personified. And even now, with this hard news, she's giving fans a reason to reflect on what these stories meant to us and who brought them to life. It's a reminder that behind the magic, behind the spells and wands and CGI, there were real people who gave these roles everything. Final thoughts. So yeah, between rumored redheads, surprise castings, and heartfelt goodbyes, this new Harry Potter series is shaping up to be something way bigger than a simple reboot. It's got ambition. It's got emotion. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who do you want to see play Ginny or Draco for real? And what do you make of this new Hagrid? Don't forget to like, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications because I'll be back with more updates as soon as that casting owl drops off new names. See you in the next one. Peace.